power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode number 12 tonight at Michigan. Got an echo through Mark's mic already going on. We literally did not have this right before we went live. It's awesome how it works. You're better now. You're good. Mark, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be off the road courses, right? Daytona Road. Excited to have that done. Going to Michigan tonight. What's your thoughts about Michigan?
Michigan's all right. I mean, it usually turns out to be a good race. Usually, for whatever reason, it ends up being a fuel mileage race a lot of times because there's not a lot of cautions. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Big track, so we shouldn't have any cautions, really. But we'll see.
Right on. And we are also joined by Mr. Ty Marasco, driver of the number 1 Ford Mustang. I thought it was a Chevy earlier. And he corrected me. So, driver number 1 Ford Mustang for MFRD. Ty, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Well, I'm doing good. Yeah, it is a Ford Mustang.
A Ford
I had to
Mustang.
correct you on that.
Yikes. Well, Ty, going into Michigan, are you excited? Not excited? What's your thoughts going into Michigan?
Always excited. Always excited to go to a home track. It being my home track is always fun. Usually run well there, and we're definitely excited to get back after the break and go to a track like Michigan where we're strong at.
Right on, Ty. I forgot that actually Michigan was your home track. So you're up there near Michael Falk and all them, huh?
Yeah. Currently I'm in Florida, but home track is in Michigan.
Right on. Well, let's get on over to the driver spotlight portion of tonight's event. It is all about our guest sitting pretty, Mr. Ty Marasco. Got a nice beard, by the way. He was doctoring that up before we went live. Mark was giving him some tips. But, Mr. Marasco, you're currently sitting 12th in the points after 11 races. You have one top 5 finish that came at the season opener at Daytona, where you actually ended up finishing on the podium, 3rd. You got 6 top 10 finishes. You've been a contender, I would say, all season long, right? Considering you've led laps in 7 out of the 11 races, points-paying races so far this season. So I'm sure that first win's got to be around the corner somewhere, right? It's got to be coming. Talk to us about your season so far without really the numbers or the stats. How has it felt as a whole for you so far?
It's felt good. I do think we could run a lot better. We got a couple DNFs in there. That's what really hurt us in the points right now. Take away those 2 DNFs from blown engines, our car could be better. Driving-wise, I could be a little cleaner probably out on the track, but going in, had a nice little break and hopefully get through the strong stretch of the season and keep on trucking. 12th in points, take that. That gets you into the top 16. That gets you into the playoffs or the chase or whatever you want to call it. But we'll just keep trucking and looking forward to tonight and the rest of the season.
With no win in your end point system this season, right? I mean, you're basically top 16. Ever how they're slotted, that's how they go into the playoffs, right? So you're currently sitting 12th. So, I mean, you're inside looking out, right?
Yeah, we're very comfortable with that. We can finish in the top 16 in points. Just run good and run where we have been. Obviously, 6 top 10s. That's pretty good. 11th races. That's only 5 races, and 2 of those were DNFs. One of them was last week, and obviously, just getting through Daytona Road was nice. That was a struggle for a lot of people, and
right,
including us. But coming through, looking at the next couple races on the schedule, we're pretty happy where we're at.
It's a tough portion of the schedule we're coming to. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know there's a Bristol coming up. There's I want to say a Pocono. So I mean, there's a tough stretch coming up. So Ty, off the sim, we just heard right from Michigan. What kind of equipment are you racing with over there? Are you another VR user, or you race monitors? What are you rocking with over there?
I'm a VR user. I have the CV1, and then G29 stuff. That's what my pedals are. In the market for some new pedals, though. Mine are kind of going out a little bit. I seem to have fixed them. I cleaned them, took them apart, cleaned them out. They seem to be working a little bit better. But yeah, I am a VR user, and once I went to VR, I can't go back.
Right. So what VR are you running with?
The original Rift.
Okay, and no problems out of it, nothing, right?
Nothing. I've heard people have problems and all that. Never have had nothing, knock on wood. Hopefully it's nothing tonight.
I got you here.
Obviously nothing has happened, so I'm not too worried.
Right on, right on. So how long you been sim racing?
I've been sim racing since 2018 is the first time I got on iRacing. I was always doing like I played PlayStation, I had PS4, played Project Cars and that stuff, but basically just with a controller.
Right.
Didn't get a. I was actually started. I actually started iRacing on a controller, and
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
actually like probably wasn't too bad for just being on a controller, but I got a wheel later on in 2018.
I've always wondered. So we were at a road
I've
course.
actually, I've actually, my first season in BPL, I'm part of the original crew. I was at the first ever race on a controller. My best finish that season was actually at a road course on a controller, which is kind of funny.
So Mark, do you remember this guy on a controller? Was he scary to be around, Mark?
No, I don't remember him on a
A
controller.
long time ago.
Long time ago, right? I've tried a controller on here and I couldn't control it, right? But my settings were all set up for the wheel. I just plugged the controller in just to try it, right? So it's probably something you definitely gotta get used to, right, over time. But when you made that jump to the wheel, it was night and day, wasn't it? Fall in love
Yeah,
again?
I mean, I'll be honest. I was racing on a MacBook Pro. That's how I started, and now I have a PC and everything. Everything's a lot better now that I got all the
That's
pieces.
awesome.
You know, still looking to get more, but you
Right.
know, just
Yeah.
gotta.
So we talk about on here all the time. That's sim racing equipment, sim racing in general. You're never finished, right? Your rig is never done.
No, and I actually made a new. You know, everybody calls me how I sit low in my zebra chair. You know, I actually ditched the zebra chair, raised the wheel up. Now I just sit in a normal seat, normal computer chair seat, sit higher up, and it seems to be way more comfortable for me. I got a new chair, and then it just kind of broke, and then I was like, well, instead of buying a new chair and sitting that low, let me try to sit high, and it's actually starting to work, and it feels fine. It feels a lot better.
More
So
comfortable on these long races and
yeah, I haven't actually ran a BPL. This is my first BPL race sitting this up. I've sit in other leagues with it,
gotcha.
but so every other race I've been low. Now I'm high up
Old
here.
Marasco can see over the dash now.
Yeah.
Mark, he's
like-
coming
Yeah.
for us tonight.
Yeah, it was always funny. Everybody always used to give me crap for it, just sitting that low. I was dang near on the ground racing.
We got a pretty brutal group of friends, right? I mean, that's just what they do. They got to give us grief a little bit. Let's segue that to the head-to-head challenge. So, I'll be honest. I'll pull Mark up here. Mark, when me and you, and I think Corey brought you the idea, when we talked about the bracket challenge, I got to thinking. I was like, there'll be weeks where your favorites may have a bad night, right, and they may fall off. But I thought for the most part, you just look at the seedings. I figured who should win, who you think would win. Well, we saw this past week upsets can and will happen. The 4th seed, Stephen T. Johnson, got knocked off by the governor, Sam Lawson, who came in as the 29th seed. So he barely made it in, but he's going through to round 2. Then,
Because then in the real life, real life happens. So,
right.
like Steven, he had a baby or a kid tugging on him last week and he couldn't race. So,
Right.
a lot of people dropped out. You get computer issues. I had a computer issue. Was that the last race or race?
You advanced. I know that.
Yeah, but I luckily, right? I mean, I had.
You went like 5 laps down or something, right?
Yeah, my internet dropped me out, right?
And you came back in and you still advanced?
Well, because Chris Legou damaged his car or something and he quit out. So you're right. So luckily my internet didn't stay out and I was able to hop right back in. So
see, we normally talk after the race. We didn't talk after the race. So
Yeah.
I forgot all about that happening. Yeah, you got dropped out of the race and everything and still advanced. So, but the cool thing about the bracket challenge, head-to-head, upsets can happen like we mentioned there. And then Dave Seeds and Poliski. Poliski was the 10th seed. I think Dave entered the 23rd seed or something like that. Both of them road course guys, so it's kind of cool how it came to the road course for them to see who's going to prevail go on to round 2. And sadly, our guest.
I was about to say, are we going to talk about
man, oh,
how
man.
I won? I mean, it's pretty easy, but
man, oh man. Ty Marasco is moving on out of Group 2. Tanner Marr sadly is not. We are not moving on.
I mean, it was nice to get through. I saw Tanner loading up the truck, and I was loading the car on the truck. I was like, well, won this
You
one.
said-
One more lap, baby.
He saw Tanner loading up the truck and he loaded up Aaron's truck.
All right,
I
let's see
did
if we can
take out here.
get our bracket pulled up. Did you reckon, Aaron?
Oh yeah,
Right in front of me.
ran him right over. Well, I will say, like, I just had so much speed. It caught me off guard how much speed I had through the bus stop, and then got into him. So it is my fault. Took him out. Then pretty much ended both our race. Ended his race, not my race. I kind of kept going, but it wasn't that great.
Right. So we have Group 1 pulled up here. Cody Gibson, Joshua Rutherford, Jamie Walker, and Mock Atta are your
That's a
four
big
drivers.
matchup.
Are your four drivers advancing? That bottom, your 9th and 8th seed going head to head in round 2. That is a killer of a matchup there. Even Rutherford and Gibson, that's going to be a tough matchup to call. So if we had to call these right here, I'm going to move Cody forward just because he's the 1 seed in my head. But then Jamie and Mark, I'm going to give the edge, personally myself. I don't know about y'all. I'm going to go Mark.
You don't have to do that because I'm here, man.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go Mark because of Michigan. I am going to go Mark because of Michigan.
I'll be the person because of Michigan. I've seen Jamie Walker win multiple races here in this league at Michigan.
Take my pick and I'll switch it.
I'm throwing Jamie out there.
Mark, who do you got for the top one? Gibson and Rutherford.
Probably Cody.
Probably Cody. I mean, anything can happen, right? Sim racing.
Josh has been running a lot better, but Cody's been running good too. And Cody's got his wheel back, so, but he doesn't have his rig back. So, I mean, he said he's a little uncomfortable with the way the wheel is mounted to his desk. It's not the same angle and everything, but he'll get used to that, in a few laps. He'll get it figured out, and he'll probably do all right.
Right on. And then you and Walker, are you expecting to skate on to the 3rd round, or are you expecting to bow out?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've known Jamie a long time. Jamie's always been just that little bit much faster than me, so it's hard to tell. I mean, Jamie can run into problems. I can run into problems. I think I'll give him a run for his money, but I don't think he'll blow me out of the water. But it's Michigan, right? So I mean, everybody should be close in speed, and
for the most part,
it's just about who takes care of their equipment, and
how well
that's
Mark
all it is. That's all it is. Yeah.
All right, and then Group 2, we talked about it already. We talked about some of the matchups. Sam Lawson knocked off Stephen T. John. Stephen T., like Mark said, had a baby tugging at him, which, I mean, I feel that, right? We're all sim racing kind of in our bedroom, in our living room, So real life happens, but that allowed the governor to move on. He'll be facing Mike Hamlin today. And then Marasco and Butcher Benjamin, some MFRD on MFRD here. I'm going to go Hamlin between him and Lawson. And I'm sorry, Ty, but since you knocked me out, I got to go Butcher here.
That's fine.
I got to hold a grudge.
I saw that, and I saw where I was going to match up after. I was like, well. Taylor are real similar speed-wise on these tracks, so it's going to be really interesting.
That's a heck of a matchup right there. That's my matchup to watch in 2nd round. Mark, who you got? Lawson, Hamlin?
Sam's been running pretty well lately, but I don't know him as well as I know Hamlin, so I'd probably have to pick Hamlin there.
Hamlin's
been running pretty good this season.
Marasco or Stats, Butcher Benjamin?
Ty normally runs better at Michigan than Taylor does.
All right, so you can see once round 1, all of our picks were kind of the same, right? But round 2, that's when it's starting to shake up a little bit. I'm going to upset some people here, but on this next one. So Kilroe, Van Vliet, they advanced on. Dave Seeds, Paulson advanced on. I'm going to go out on the limb and say Phillip advances into round 3. And that's nothing against Dalton. I just think that's my dark horse contender pick, I guess, right? Everybody has a bracket where they got to have one kind of weird one, and I'm putting Van Vliet ahead of Dalton, and then Dave Seats and Paulson. That's hard to call. I'll let y'all call that one. I don't know. That one's a tough one to call.
Derek runs really well at Michigan, so
there you go.
I would give that one to Derek, and Dalton and Van Vliet. I'm going to do the bracket buster too because Van Vliet was the only one on Shop Talk that picked me over Jamie. I'm picking Van Vliet over Kilroe.
Oh, hell yeah. Good deal. Marasco, how do you feel? You got a few teammates battling here?
Yeah. I think Dalton's gonna get it done. Derek, I was actually gonna leave this stat for later on in the show, but we're gonna say it right now. I mean, this guy at Michigan, he is only finished out of the top 5 one time in a BPL league race, and then he finished 24th. I believe that was he got wrecked. He's finished second 3 times, and he's won once. So Derek at Michigan,
Kind of hard to go against him, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Now, this Group 4, this one has some hellacious matchups too, right? Paul Ellison, Corey Sherman, they advance on. The Soul Stealer, Brian Dees, and Chris Carroll advance on. So I'm going to go Ellison, and I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go Dees. And that's not to say Carroll or Sherman, neither one be up to the front, but that's just how I think tonight's going to shake out. Mark?
I think Corey, from my memory, runs pretty well at Michigan as also.
I like it. See, I don't have a good memory. I can't remember these races back, right?
I would. Well, when Corey has room, he can run well. It's when he doesn't have a lot of room. When Corey can be a wrecking ball. So,
When there's walls. When there's walls.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd pick Corey there probably, and I'm gonna pick Carroll there. I mean,
Carroll
I
over
think
Dees.
Carroll get it done. Yeah.
So I got D's there, which is kind of crazy because the bracket I actually filled out, I got Carroll and Mark Arthur meeting in the final, believe it or not. But all right, who do you got? No practice, Marasco.
I just want to mention Paul Ellison. What a season he's had.
What a said it last week or 2 weeks ago.
He might not be silently finishing good, but keeping a clean race car and the way points are set up this year, it's making a big difference for him. And I think Corey can run hard, and we saw it at Homestead. He kind of ran away with it. So I think at this track, I think Corey, if he just keeps his nose clean, he'll be fine. I think he'll move on. And then I'm going to pick Brian, my teammate, again. I think MFRD as a whole, we run really pretty well at Michigan, so I'm going to go with that. I know Carroll's fast, but hey, you never know.
You just never know what can happen, right? That's the beauty of these races. All right, folks, we kind of went a little long on that. We're going to go over to the Who's That Driver. Mark don't seem to like this segment very well.
I get it.
Not really, though. I mean, you've gotten most of
Who's
them.
that driver? Jeff Gordon? Oh, is it NASCAR drivers?
Yes. So
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I got 5 drivers. I'm gonna just read off random hints, random facts about them, Ty, and see if you know it. So we'll jump right into it. Let me get this up here. We didn't make these logos for nothing, right? All right. Driver number 1. This driver, excuse me. This driver's car number is a single digit. This driver has won a Daytona 500 very recently. This driver has 4 NASCAR Cup Series wins in his 13-year racing career that is still currently going. This driver, this is the final hint right here. This driver is from a fairly big racing family, including his brother that has had a few stints in NASCAR. His dad, what?
Truex.
No, that's a good guess though.
Austin Dillon.
Yep, Austin Dillon.
Single digit, 1 Daytona 500, only 4 wins.
Yep.
That's all I needed.
Yep.
So why didn't you say it then?
Well, I thought he had to explain the whole thing.
No.
Oh,
Whenever,
okay.
if you know it, just throw it out. And if I think
get
there's,
me out of my misery as soon as
I was
you
giving
can.
Mark a chance.
right.
No, don't give me a chance. You get me out of it as soon as possible.
All right. Driver number 2. This one's easy. Ty, lay out for a minute. Let's see if Mark can get this.
No, don't lay out.
This driver has 1 victory shy of 50 total wins in his NASCAR racing career.
Who cares?
This driver,
You should know it.
this
Why
driver,
should I know it?
will y'all shut up? This driver only drove for 2 different teams in his 18-year career. 12 of those years was for Joe Gibbs Racing. This driver has a total. This driver has a total of 4 Cup championships.
Don't
3
know.
as a driver, 1 as an owner. All right, Ty,
Who
go.
cares?
Well, I had the wrong number. I had the wrong guess at
See?
first.
I didn't know either.
I didn't. So he's got 4 Cup championships though.
3 of them, 3 as a driver, 1 as an owner.
Well, it's Tony Stewart.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good job. All right.
At first, I thought it was Denny Hamlin because he said 49 wins.
Right. Driver 3. This
What about-
driver won a total of 28 Cup Series races. Had a very short career, only 13 years. Every time this driver won, he had a very, very unique way to celebrate, and he did it every time he won one of those 28 races.
What's his face with the backflips?
What's his name?
I don't know.
You're on the
Carl
right.
Edwards.
Yeah, Carl Edwards. Good job,
Yeah,
Mark. Way to be engaged
Hey,
here.
Mark got that one.
Yeah,
All
what's his face with the backflips? That's
What's his
my
face?
answer.
This is in Mark's era right here, so he should know this one. This driver won a total. I was shocked by this. Had a 30-year career and only won 8 races. So he stuck around but didn't win a whole lot, right?
Whew.
This driver comes from a very, very famous racing family.
Bubba Wallace. Just kidding.
His grandpa raced, his dad raced, he raced, and of course his son raced before his son tragically passed away in a NASCAR.
I know it.
This
but you
driver,
used to do
Hendrick.
nope. This driver was
Oh, Kyle Petty.
it. There
Kyle Petty. Kyle Petty. And then
Passed away in Martinsville, did
New Hampshire.
or that was the Hendrick kid that passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
you go. Yeah.
All right, and then the final one. This one's fairly easy too. This is your error also. This driver has 40 total wins in his NASCAR Cup Series career. Spent the bulk of his career racing for one team. Before late in his career, he went to retire, and Mr. Hendrick talked him back into coming and racing part time, and it turned into, I think, 2 seasons full time. With him being an old school driver, it's kind of cool. Nope, that's a good guess though. There's a good guess.
Mark Martin.
That's it. So that's all 5 of them. So see, Mark, you got 2 out of 3 right then. Good job.
Yeah, so
Sourpuss. Jeez.
I gave Mark a chance on the last one.
Right?
Don't give me a chance. Just answer it.
All right, so now it's time for a segment I know Mark ain't a sourpuss about. He likes this one because he's currently winning it.
You're
It's,
good at it, apparently. I've heard.
Track Talk Pick'em of the week. He won last week with his pick of Dave Seats. Dave Seats ended up finishing 3rd, so I think my pick finished 5th, and
Probably gonna suck at it this week.
Flanagan. I can't remember where Flanagan finished at, but that don't matter. All right, so we're gonna let Ty go first since he is the guest. So it's 6-3-1. So let's see if Ty can get the guest on the board.
I gotta get the guest going up on the standings here.
Let's see. You can't. There's a few drivers you cannot pick though. You can't pick Jamie Walker, Aaron Bockover, Corey Sherman, Stephen T. Johnson, Big Ugly Mark Arthur, Cody Gibson, Paul Ellison, Ryan Flanagan, or Dave Seats. So we're starting to get down to the nitty gritty when it comes to drivers. So I mean, we went through a lot of drivers here.
Yeah, I see what you guys can't pick a couple guys, and
Yep.
you guys used a lot of heavy hitters early, but I'm
Where'd
definitely
Mark
gonna go.
There he is.
I'm gonna go Derek Paulson, my teammate of mine. Again, like I said, Michigan. This guy has only finished less than.
I feel
he's only
like
finished-
Ty's kind of a homer, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, going by stats,
Right.
he's only finished worse than 5th one time.
What's Taylor got to do with this?
So stupid.
But I am a homer, I guess. But like, just it's
No,
a
no,
smart
it
pick.
is
We
right.
gotta get
Wait, you're
track
a what?
talk. Yes.
We got that on camera.
What?
Mark, don't say it again. Don't say it again. Let that one ride. Go back and watch it, Ty. You'll see what you said. And Mark's just being Mark. That is a good pick. Going from looking at the stats based on how he's shown up as of late. Ty's still sitting there. He's trying to think of what you're
I'm
talking
trying to
about.
think. About, I said smart pick.
All right, I'll say it. You said I may be a homer, so Mark's trying to be funny about it.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got the brain of
Hey,
like a 7-year-old.
2023, man. We got to make sure.
He's
Anyway, let's move on.
All right, Tanner,
the wittiness
myself.
of Mark.
Right, myself here. I'm down 3. Right, I was hoping last week with Andy. I was hoping he came through, but Dave Seats edged him out by 2 freaking spots. So I cannot pick Kilroe, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. Who else can I get? Jamie Walker, Derek Paulson, Chris Carroll, Brian Dees, Corey Sherman, Palicki, or Mark Arthur. Derek was going to actually be my pick when I looked at the results last season, but obviously I've already picked him, so I can't. I'm going to go. Man. I'm gonna go Marasco just because he's the first person I can think of right here. I'm gonna bet on you, Ty. Don't let me down. I heard
well,
you
if you wreck
was
me on the
fastest in
track, I
practice.
just want you to know.
No. I won't wreck you. We ain't wrecked each other. I think we've been into it a few times with each other. I don't think we've ever outright ruined each other's nights. So let's see if we can keep that streak going, especially on the night when I pick you. Okay, let's see if we can. I need a point bad.
I'll try my
Marasco.
best. I'll try my best.
Well, I think I heard Terry mention earlier that you was fastest in practice at one point. I don't know if it ended that way. Did it end that way?
No, Justin Ping.
No.
Justin Ping. All right.
Well, no. I think Derek was the fastest last time.
Well, Ty, we're gonna work together. I'll wreck Derek so you can win. Okay, that way you don't get a point.
Well, I don't
and
have
I get
to.
a point.
I don't have to win. I just gotta be.
No, you just gotta beat Derek now at this point, and whoever Mark picks, right? Just whoever
Yeah.
finishes the best here. All right, Mark Arthur, who do you got? You cannot pick Jamie Walker, Kyle the Wildman Wellman, Brian Dees, the God Tanner Marr, Derek Paulson, John Perkins, Stephen T. Johnson, Dave Caesar, Dustin Ping. I don't know who put the God Tanner Marr on there. They must have done it pretty well. All right, who you got, Mark Arthur?
I'm gonna go with Cody Gibson this week.
That's a good pick. Coming into tonight as the points leader, I do believe. If he's not the points leader still, he's right there at it. It was close.
Chris took it.
I think Chris took it, but it's close. I do believe. Let's see. So we're right on time. Good job, boys. We were like right on schedule today. Whoever typed out the script must have knew what they were doing, right? Final thoughts going into Michigan draft. Is draft gonna be heavy? I got a team like MFRD. They're always to the front, Mark. They're always usually around each other because they're up to the front. They work pretty good together. Will a team like that, can they kind of dominate a track like Michigan, you think?
I don't think so. With the way the tape is on the car this week, 65% tape, and that thing is blinking like a Christmas tree in the first 5, 6, 7 laps. Might not be as bad in a race, but in practice, running the guts out of it, it was blinking pretty hard. So if you do a whole lot of drafting, you can keep blinking. So I think people are going to have to kind of get off of each other's rears to keep the car cool. At least in the early stages of once you change tires, so till the tires wear off. But
Does it
I don't know.
come down after?
I think the draft will be important, but I think more than like a Talladega draft where you team up as teammates. Right. I think the pull of the draft, like catching that car that's in front of you, is where the draft is going to come into make a large factor there, but more than like a team drafting type situation.
Right. So, Marasco, you're part of that big time. I don't know why his camera keeps disappearing like that. It's so annoying. I hate Discord with the past.
Have you seen Ty?
Well, unfortunately it's a Discord deal. It did to you too, so we can't just blame him.
Well, have you seen me?
Right.
Yeah.
Ty, you're part of that team we're talking about, right? A big team, a team that's pretty successful, right, this year. Y'all have all ran pretty good. Coming in that track like Michigan, y'all all like the track. Y'all are all pretty fast at it. Are you content following Derek Paulson second? Are you content?
I mean, that's the thing of our team. I don't think we're content following anybody.
Right.
I mean, when we can pass early in the race, yeah, you're content sitting behind your
Right,
buddy because you're like, you're just trying to ride. You're saving fuel, saving tire, whatever the case is. But I mean, at Michigan, it gets spread out. I mean, you're just gonna catch. The only way you're gonna really catch people late in a run is if you have better tire than them. You ain't gonna outright beat them on speed. Because I mean, once it gets spaced out, if you don't have tire around here, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna go back pretty fast. But I think tonight it's always ends up being like a strategy type race.
It's
like
always
a
a fuel race every time. I feel like
because just the caution falls at a certain time. It ends up being a good field strategy, but I mean, it's Michigan. Anything can happen. I saw some people in practice; they were doing pretty good, but. Yeah, just as a team, our MFRD team is very strong, and we hope the number 1 MFRD4 Mustang will be up front by the end of the race.
I'm sure it'll be somewhere near it. I hope it is because you're my pick. Once again, no pressure or anything on that one. Well, folks, we're going to close up shop here tonight. I want to thank y'all for tuning in as always. Thank you, Mr. Marasco, for coming in and chatting with us a little bit, letting the people know about you at home and whatnot. Mr. Mark Arthur, thank you for sitting in here and just basically taking space. Appreciate it. I'm just playing. Thank you, buddy, as always. Michigan tonight. Sam and Terry will be live in about an hour, I believe, 45 minutes, something like that, over on True Sim Productions YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 400. But until next time, we'll see ya.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace
I knew it was
out.
coming. I knew it was coming.
I get in the car.
Thank you, boys.